Alrighty, and we're back. SummoNerds, I'm Evan.
And I'm Matt.
Alright, and this is a game with Matt against Joe when he was in town visiting. So Joe is the Cave Filth, and Matt is the Swamp Mercs.
Mm-hmm. Both of us using a couple of our favorite teams from the Alliance's set.
Yeah, Joe has always been a big Filth player. He's been really good with Demagogue in the past, and when the Warden came out, he was really good with him too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and just love the Swamp Mercs. They're not my typical favorite play style, but I think they have some really cool event cards that combine well with Glurblub's ability. So I just love when a summoner has a really interesting ability. I know it's been I know Splub initially had that, Vinemancer so, but just being able to do it at range allows you to snipe in a vine wall. It's just kind of cool.
It's true. It also, unless you build Splub into the deck and manage to get him out, it kind of forces Glurblub to get in on the action and participate actively in the game. And because he only has 6 life and 2 attack, he's not some absurd powerhouse. You have to be a little careful with him, and it becomes really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen a couple games of us with Glurblub in the past, but I don't think Matt playing Glurblub. I think it's always been me, right?
Right. Yeah, we only have in our videos we only show those Vargoth Vanguard versus Glurblub.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is kind of nice. Matt's got a nice Savager there. He's trying to find the camera.
I built some Savagers. I kind of have a high cost common mentality going on in this deck. I'm a big fan of the boarboons, and of course Savagers are just great units.
You know, when I saw the boarboons initially, I really thought they were going to be some of my favorite units out of this deck. I thought they were the ones I was really excited about. Oh, misses with the swordsman on the prisoner. That's a bummer. But I really thought they would be like the unit, the common of the Glurblub deck that I liked the most. And in fact, they're the ones I take out most often.
Yeah, I like them just because of their health for the most part.
Oh yeah, I mean that's amazing.
Well, it's just their health gets them in position to be spore carriers.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the Savagers, but the Savagers are even harder to approach because they might fear away some commons.
So this is the thing for me is Savagers have the same health, have 1 extra attack and cost 1 extra, but their attack stays at 1 extra attack. And the boarboon's ability is only good for that first push, and Savager has Fear, which is one of the better abilities I think a common can have. So I really love the Savagers for that 1 extra magic. I feel like you're getting a lot out of it. You're getting extra attack for most of the game, not for that first turn, but then afterwards, and you're getting Fear, which is so nice.
No, I agree. I replaced a lot of the boarboons with Savagers, but I also kept some boarboons just because I like that. I've noticed several situations where I've had 3 but not 4 magic, where a boarboon is more useful. So that 1 extra magic does make a difference from 3 to 4.
I really do like the boarboon. It's funny because my initial perception of it was incorrect. I just assumed it would be my favorite, the Swamp Rats are amazing.
Yeah, I think the Swamp Rats are actually the best common in Glurblub's deck. That hit and run capability is just phenomenal. I've used them in the past to attack and then move them to a wall that blocks off a summon point.
Yep.
Like on this map, we can see like a Swamp Rat could just warp over potentially to that, or like the wall that Joe has in front of mine and block off that point.
Yep. The Swamp Rats are pretty amazing for getting around the board quickly and attacking things and then blocking off Glurblub, keeping him safe. It's really nice to be able to shoot something with Glurblub and then move a Swamp Rat in front of him to make sure he's safe for the next turn.
Yep. Or vice versa with the Swamp Rat in front of Glurblub, getting an initial wound on something maybe with 2 health, and then running it out of the way so Glurblub can finish it off into a vine wall.
Yep. And if you don't hit with the Swamp Rat and you're not sure if you want to expose Glurblub to potential risk, you can just keep it there. You're not committed to moving it, which is nice. So yeah, Joe missed everything on his turn. That's fine though, because Matt missed everything on his first turn. So we're back at an even slate. For now, anyhow. But yeah, that's Matt's moving forward with Glurblub, which is probably a good idea, although Joe's new wall presents a little bit of worry.
Yep.
Because it means Glurblub is...
Yeah, I'm already being funneled. I don't like that.
Yeah, he's already at a choke point, and here we go, Swamp Rat there, blocking off the summon point. That's good.
Yep. And another Swamp Rat, so I paid nothing to potentially block off those 2 summon points. So.
Yep. And here comes the move. 1, 2, 3. That's so Glurblub is deep in enemy territory, but safe from being cornered unless Joe gets another wall next turn.
Yep.
Which would actually be humongous.
Yeah, that would be horrible. I actually didn't pay attention to that. So,
yeah, that would be huge. That would be probably game ending. Not necessarily, but likely. Likely game ending. All right, so Matt misses that prisoner yet again, and does a little bit with the boarboon. Matt's not sure what to do about that prisoner. He's probably pretty mad about that, missing 4 dice on that 1 unit. And then he's going to attack the wall with Glurblub. A couple hits. So here we go. Matt's deep in enemy territory. We're just hoping for his sake that Joe doesn't pull a wall.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Joe was quite bad at showing his hand this game, so we're just going to have to deal with that. I'm sorry. After playing... we played these... we got the same table setup as the previous game we've shown, so we played them back to back, and then we're recording them now. So Joe had just played a game, and he was probably, I don't know, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying he was like fatigued or something from that, and like just forgot. I don't know if that really had anything to do with it, but he just kind of forgot as time went on to keep showing his hand. And this game, he was a little more worried about his position at all times because Matt had this really aggressive opening. So we'll just see. He shows his hand some of the time, but just not as often as in the previous game, which was pretty decently consistent. Here we go. Got a berserker coming out.
I love berserkers in the Warden's deck. Very nice, especially with overwork. Obviously, this berserker doesn't need to overwork to take out that swamp rat.
That should be up.
But he will anyway.
Overworked. Actually, I think he's a prisoner.
Yeah, it's the prisoner being overworked.
Try to get a little bit on that boarboon and open up the space where the prisoner is.
Yeah.
It's a nice plan to get wound on the boarboon, but then also to get the prisoner into the prison pile and let the warden move wherever he needs to move.
Yeah, overwork is great because it does a move and an attack during the event phase.
Yep.
And can clear off a space for something. So that boarboon took a wound, prisoner denied himself, and now there's even more dice coming at that boarboon.
Yep, he was able to get the prisoner out of his own way so he can move that berserker in.
Yep. So my goal was to get that boarboon so weak but not dead so I could spore carrier it and deny it myself, but that didn't happen. So
berserkers are amazing in Filth, in the Filth deck, in the Warden's deck, because you can use the Taskmaster to knock them up and then use their ability to hit multiple things. Another great option are oaths, because you can give them the exact amount of wounds they need to have 3 attack, but also give them some extra movement. So you can have this 2-cost unit with 4 to 6 movement and 3 attack potentially in one turn. It's kind of a big deal.
Well, and if you had a wounded oath, a double wounded oath, you could potentially overwork that for 4 die and then deny the oath right afterwards. So
oaths are just pretty amazing, but so are berserkers for the same reason. Their assault, you can overwork them, and then they get 3 attack with assault.
Yep.
So they can hit everything with 3 attack.
Yep.
Like Matt showed us in I think our previous game where I was Maloon deck, I was the Jungle Shadows. He did that with a berserker.
I did it with Barb Mutant.
Yeah, but berserkers are a cheaper way of doing that.
Yep.
You can overwork them and just whack everything. Same number of attack die even. It's pretty amazing. Some of the stuff you can build. Obviously, you can't mutate the cave goblin units, which is a bummer for sure, because the flexibility with the mutations is kind of one of their big strengths. It's actually probably the biggest. It's kind of the foundation upon which the mutations are built. The ability to choose what unit you want at what time, and have it change deep in enemy territory. You can change fundamentally what the unit is and what its ability is, and you can't do that with the cave goblin units. So only with the cave filth or with the filth units.
Right, but with enlist, you can enlist them on top of any common unit.
That's very true
from your discard. But,
So, all right, here we go. Yeah, so exactly. Enlist, you're not losing anything with that, for sure. You definitely have some leeway. All right, so here we go. Matt's trying to figure out where those vine walls are supposed to go. That's where they're supposed to go. So,
yeah,
he's pointing out the card. That's where they're on the card. They haven't moved this game.
Neither Joe nor myself was paying close enough attention to what I just destroyed, so...
Well, it was on the card there because you hadn't moved those units this game, and I checked it when I was editing, and it was fine. That's where they're supposed to go. So, Matt has spore carriers, got a bunch of his units killed, and then got magic out of it. He's still got those walls blocked off so that he is safe from being caught from behind. And he's moving Glurblub around.
Thank goodness Joe didn't have that wall.
Oh my gosh. So... Matt's moving Glurblub back a little bit since he doesn't have any units down there anymore to back him up. Gonna just attack the wall and try to get Joe to attack him with some commons so we can get some more vine walls.
Yep, exactly. I'm just poking little holes at the walls right now just to draw out some plays. I'm in no real danger.
Yeah, not this turn anyway.
Got him to use an event, that overwork, on one of my starting commons, so still... Both of us probably still feeling okay at this point. I am annoyed that my swordsman couldn't take care of that prisoner. That extra magic I was anticipating that extra magic for other plays.
Yep. Yeah, getting rid of that prisoner, having the extra magic from that. And just not having, deal with that prisoner out and behind your stuff.
Right, and I lost 2 more magic than I wanted to.
Yeah.
Obviously, his initial play at my swordsman, he should have killed that, so when he didn't, it was only fitting that I didn't, but then I missed again with my second swordsman.
Yeah. So here we go. Joe's trying to figure out how best to counter Matt's retreat, how to press his advantage. It's not a huge advantage, it's just that obviously Matt couldn't stay up there and keep the pressure up without risking Glurblub. So Joe's trying to figure out can he keep pressure on Matt, because if you can keep pressure on Glurblub himself, it's hard to do anything as the Swamp Mercs. Matt fortunately has enough vine walls out right now that he doesn't have to worry as much as he would normally. Here we go.
Joe brought out a clinger.
Yep.
Very interesting.
He's moving his berserker in range of the taskmaster. Taskmaster's going to knock it up there and pull the clinger with it. So
Clingers
really nice.
are so interesting like that, yeah.
It's a really nice move. And then move the prisoner as his final move. Berserker 1 move, Taskmaster 1 move, and the prisoner 3rd. Clinger doesn't count as its own move.
Okay, Berserker on Glurblub. 1 hit.
Got a hit. So this is the goal here, trying to just do a couple wounds to Glurblub, make Matt nervous about keeping him up. Because if you can get Glurblub if you can force him back, there's just, the Swamp Mercs get more limited.
Yeah, just like with any summoner that needs to be in the fight, weakening them. And
if you can force Moira or Sam or Sunderved, any of those back away from their units, if you have to run away with those, that weakens their whole deck.
Sneaks too.
Yep. There's a lot of them actually that are like that. But then there's some that you don't need to be like Muglug doesn't need to be anywhere near the action.
Right.
He can do everything just fine from in the back row. Not so with Glurblub. So here we are. Matt's deciding how he's going to deal with these commons. It's actually probably not a bad position, really, because both of them only have 1 health.
Yeah, it allows a vine wall in my mind to be formed from either one of those.
Yep.
So it's just like,
choose which one you want to take with the vine wall.
Though we have seen Glurblub double whiff quite frequently, so
yeah, gosh,
those
the
are
double
not
whiff
sure
with
things.
Glurblub is the most painful double whiff.
Yeah,
I think of any unit in the game. because you need those to connect with him, because it means not only did you not get the vine wall that you probably were relying upon and needed. Matt showing his hand here. He's got the vine lash. And
the thing's going to be able to whack you again.
Yeah, exactly, but the thing's going to be able to hit your summoner, no less. It's not just any unit. It's not just able to hit Splub or something. It's able to hit your summoner. So it's a big deal to miss with Glurblub. Yeah, that's what makes his deck a little scary sometimes, is you have to attack with him, and you have to put him within range of being attacked.
That's another... I built grubs into this deck, because grubs can make up for that situation.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, you get to move him back in the way of Glurblub.
Yeah.
Prong out there, nice, cheap, powerful champion, and works really well in Glurblub's deck with all those vine walls. I've always wanted to put Prong in Muglug's deck. I think he'd do just fine there too.
Yeah, he's also got... he's got a lot of vines to choose from there.
Yeah, I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, so I just view Muglug's vines as more defensive.
Yeah.
But he still has a lot to choose from. But Prong can be aggressive and have the vine wall buffer.
That's true. Here it comes, so he killed the berserker with Prong, and now he's got the roll with Glurblub. Please get at least one hit, says Matt.
There it is.
Got it.
So we got that. Now that's a vine wall.
Boom.
They have decent swamp spread with just Glurblub here.
Yep.
I did do a spore carrier before, but
it's nice though. You've got a decent position here. You can be hit from two different sides, but Joe probably does not have the magic or the cards in his hand to do 5 wounds to you this turn, certainly. Right. So you're not in terrible danger.
No, Joe has a similar mindset with me with the cave filth, is that put most of them in the prison pile, not the magic pile that he kills.
So he doesn't have too many options for assaulting Matt this turn. What were those rolls?
I don't know.
Oh, prisoner coming out.
Yeah,
that's what
prisoner.
It was. Yeah. So Joe pulled out he lost one prisoner to his prison pile, I think, and then he dropped another one, and that one worked. If I understood those rolls correctly.
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm almost positive. Just memory, actually, from watching the game a couple nights ago. Editing. I don't just sit around and watch these all day. After we film them, it's not
the game.
Yeah, exactly. I have some life, I guess. Repeatedly watching the same videos that we played. Right. It's more embarrassing when we play them. It's not as embarrassing watching someone else's videos. I wouldn't mind watching some of your guys' videos someday if you ever. Right. I don't know. We were considering doing something where we had other people contribute videos. I don't know. The files are huge though, so I don't know how we'd manage that. We'll maybe figure out something in the future where you can send us some games of your own, and I don't. Yeah, it's a project for another day. Right. That'd be fun to commentate someone else's video someday.
There's that annoying prisoner now causing problems for Prong.
Yeah, exactly. That wouldn't have been an issue before, but now there's this prisoner whacking Prong that should have been dead a long time ago. It's okay though. Prong can take it. He's got some vine walls to mitigate some of the damage.
Right.
All right. Matt's got some options. Both players, you'll notice, are spaced in such a way that neither one of them can get a hit on the other's main forces easily. Well, I guess Joe can hit you. You can't hit Joe. You can't summon something and run up and hit those prisoners in the back or anything like that. Or the Warden is what I meant. You can definitely hit the prisoners.
Yeah.
But they're spaced.
Just hard for Joe because there's not. If he sends something in, it's a lot. It's an investment, and he's probably gonna die. Yep.
You're both. The way you're spaced out here, you both have to lose whatever you send in, or at least assume you're gonna lose whatever you send in.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the Demagogue does not have, or the Warden does not have the Demagogue's event, Heretic's Rebuke, so you're not going to lose some giant common like a Savager,
right?
For free and for certain. That's terrible when Savagers get rebuked. That's nothing like that can happen. All right, so you go for the Savager. You don't send him right down the middle to be whacked by everything. You restrict the number of attacking points that are likely.
Yep. I'm actually just using him to block off a summon point.
Yep.
So if anything wants to mess with the Savager, it's going to have to deal with fear.
And you can hit his wall a bunch. And Glurblub now only has one side he can be attacked from. So this is a good move. It's a nice conservative move. Push more pressure on Joe, but don't risk very much yourself.
Yep.
You're actually increasing the pressure on Joe and decreasing it on yourself is what you're doing with that move.
Yeah. Taking little niblets again out of the wall.
Here we go. Yeah, I finally got rid of that prisoner. Took prong, but you got him.
So yeah, we're just keeping track of the wound markers.
Okay.
So and
All right, Matt's got 3 magic. You gonna drop anything? Or, nope. Looks like you're happy. All right, we're gonna see Joe's response. He's definitely. This is not a happy position.
yeah, if I ever have commons out on the field, I never drop a spore carriers.
He did use his the Warden's ability there to move a prison pile unit to the magic. So he had 4 magic, I think, was the goal. Pull out that the barbed
3. The barbed mutant is 3.
Okay, thank you. Good call. He moved in. I thought he had 3 already. That's why I was confused. But he had 2 already. Moved 1 from the prison pile at the beginning of his turn into magic. Got the barbed mutant, and now he's gonna. Oh, what's he doing? He's checking through his discard. I think he's worried about an enlist, maybe. That's what I think he's thinking about.
Maybe it's subjugation also. I want to make sure there's enough.
So he's got that barbed mutant, and you're seeing what he's thinking here. He can move the barbed mutant up with the taskmaster, which hurts the barbed mutant's chances at living next turn.
But it gives 2 attacks, one on Glurblub and one on prong.
Yeah, which is nice because both of those are units you want to hit, and it could force prong to get rid of that vine wall that's under him. And prong doesn't have any chance to get another vine wall. There we go. Enlisting, right? Or subjugation?
It was subjugation.
Subjugating some units, putting him in his prison pile from his discard. But yeah, he could, if he hits 2 on prong, he forces prong to get rid of the vine wall, and then there's no way for prong to get another vine wall on his side of the board because he's separated from Glurblub, and the best thing you could do is play a spore carrier, but you can't spore carrier adjacent to prong, so you'd have to retreat prong if you wanted him to live. Is effectively what's going on. It's a nice idea if he hits 2 on prong. Yeah. And if he hits 2 on Glurblub, that's nice too, because then Glurblub's in definite kill range for a lot of units.
Yep. So first we're doing an assault on prong. Got 1 hit. I believe I just take the wound.
That's all right. It's not great, but it's
now
fine.
For double miss on Glurblub, which was not good because now I can just kill that barbed mutant and I suffered very minimal damage.
Matt gets 2 magic out of it. Joe loses 3 magic and a mutant that's nice, and he didn't really get anything out of that. So that was a huge economic upset for Joe. He did use subjugation, which was good, so he has a bunch in the prison pile, but he has no magic, which is terrible. Matt's got Mick the Tusk in his hand, spore carriers, Vine Lash, Vine Bind. That's a great combination, and Swamp Dominion.
Yep,
it's a nice combination.
So I got my big power card, so I can use that at any time. So it's nice. It's nice. Swamp Dominion in your hand is great.
Yeah, the first turn is not usually when I want to draw that sucker, but I don't want it. I don't want it at the bottom of my deck. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't even mind having it initially because I feel like I don't really very easily get clogged with Glurblub just because I always have commons to kill, I feel.
That makes sense. What my problem is sometimes because there are 4 spore carriers, sometimes I'll draw 2 or 3 in the same hand, and that's a bad feeling. But you can just drop 1. You don't need all 4 spore carriers every game.
Yeah, right.
So attacked with Glurblub first, then prong. I'm not exactly sure why you didn't attack with prong first, then Glurblub.
Because I used Divine Lash, so it was a 2 for 2.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I see. I missed the Vine Lash. That's fine. And then It's interesting. I probably wouldn't have used the Vine Lash and just attacked at prong, then Glurblub 5 to hit 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's safer. Then you're sure you kill. I mean, you're almost sure you kill the threat because you don't want to live next turn. You don't want to hit 2 out of 5 and then have to deal with the Barb Mutant again.
Yeah,
You could overwork
pretty sure
it or
that's
something.
why I have another lash, so I wasn't worried about it.
And if you overworked it next turn, he would deny the magic and do massive damage to Glurblub and prong potentially.
Yeah, it was just an easy use of.
No, you're right. Vine Lash was probably wise. Unholy Sacrifice. Here we go. The big card for the Warden. He's saying that guy.
So I'll take the Vine, because I know what I know what he wants to do here. Is he's playing the Unholy Sacrifice, so he almost ensures that he kills prong this turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the Vine Wall, even though
You'll probably still lose prong.
I'll probably still lose prong, but it makes it so I won't. Glurblub probably won't be attacked in his place if I had just let prong die.
That's true. Yeah, if you just killed prong, then it probably would have meant an attack on Glurblub, and this forces Joe to make this prisoner move this turn. If you just killed prong, he didn't have to move forward at you at all. He could have just stayed back and not made a move this turn, which would have been totally fine. But this way, he's committed now because you could get another Vine Wall under prong eventually, and or just move prong over to that other Vine Wall next turn. He's used Unholy Sacrifice. It's not like he has another one of those in the deck, so he has to make it count.
Yeah, that's a big scary card I just drew out too, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, he did it. He did a wound on the Savager as well.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with that because now the Savager is killable, whereas before it really wasn't.
Yeah, not easily, certainly. There we go. He kills prong.
So prong is gone. Prong definitely did his 4 magic worth of duties, though, I'd say. So
yeah, I'd say
it
so
was
too. Killed a couple good
very
units.
efficient.
Took a lot of damage. Took a lot of attacks specifically. Not even necessarily just damage, because obviously prong can't take that much damage. But he absorbed a lot of Joe's attacks. Joe had to waste a lot of time and energy attacking specifically prong.
Yep.
Which is nice.
So now I'm just greedily viewing that prisoner as a Vine Wall. I'm like, oh, there's a new Vine Wall to replace the one I lost. Even though right now it's still a prisoner with a wound on it. Very dangerous mentality.
Well, that's how I always think of Glurblub, and that's why when I make those double misses, I freak out. So there's Mick the Tusk, which you probably have enough magic for now, because you got.
I'm thinking so.
Because you got the 2 from the Barb Mutant. You could also.
That's another. Glurblub just seems to constantly flow with magic, because of those spore carriers, denying your own stuff, and the high attack power of his deck just brings it in. So I just feel like I'm never in a bind for magic with his deck.
Yeah, another thing worth mentioning here is if you're worried about Glurblub taking an attack next turn, you could use Vine Bind and then attack the prisoner, and then even if Joe summons something, he couldn't move it next to Glurblub because the bind would be in effect with that other wall that you just created. It's a little bit of a risk, certainly, because if you missed the prisoner, the Vine Bind would have been pretty much useless. But
I think I did just do that.
There we go.
I think I just did a Vine Bind.
But you have a 90% chance, roughly, to hit the prisoner, so, you know, it's not bad odds.
Yep.
Here we go, and then...
and then it's like, if I don't kill it there, I will whack it with Mick, but I mean, that won't create a Vine Wall, so
No, it's important to create that Vine Wall. However, if you create the Vine Wall, too, you give Mick some more attack.
Which is the goal here.
Yeah, it's not a bad move.
Because it's so I got it. I remember that 3 scared me for a second because I'm like, oh, is that a 2? No, it was a 3, so it was fine. And now Mick has odds of killing that wall also.
Yep, nice 4 attack dice with Mick, and Matt dropped to die. There we go. There we go. 3,
and I got
4
all
attack.
4
Wow, nice.
on the wall, so I only needed 3. But I killed that wall.
Yep.
And now my Savager is free to take a smack at the Warden. That 9 life fiend would be nice. Yeah, so 2 good. That's a good solid move there. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, the boarboon hit him for 1 early in the game, but that doesn't mean anything against the Warden. So now the Warden is in the same kind of range as Glurblub. 6 life left.
Yep.
A lot of work left to do on him, and he's got so many events that can. So many events. That's not exactly what I mean. He's got events that can get him out of trouble, like Living Shield.
Living Shield is a perfect example.
Or Enlist, if he pulls a unit out of nowhere and saves himself with it. That's something the Warden likes to do. Pull a powerful unit out of nowhere and be safe.
Mm-hmm.
So there are definitely ways out of this for Joe, but yeah, it's a nice position for Matt. He destroyed a wall. It's always a really good feeling to destroy your opponent's wall.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe is now actually being actively attacked. Oh, bless you.
Shut
up.
To me.
There we go.
Yeah.
I said bless you and then shut up. Usually I pick one or the other. That time I did both.
Covering all our bases. Oh, the spew mutant.
Here
That's
we
a
go.
scary one.
Yeah. Alrighty. And the wall. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's an important wall for Joe. Keeps the Warden safe for just a little bit longer from getting flanked anyway.
Yeah.
It also is a wall far enough away from the existing vine walls that Mick isn't going to be super powered right next to it.
Right.
Which is good for Joe.
Yeah, Mick gets his attack up super fast. He is just an amazing champion.
I know his stats are already decent for a champion of his cost.
Yeah.
And then, they're already fine without that ability, but then it's very unlikely he's ever going to have 2 attack. I almost always have 3 attack with Mick at the very least. And then, it's not hard to get 4 or 5 attack out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with some spore carriers. Oh,
so
Living Shield.
My plan for putting grubs in this deck is to get him early so he can constantly be covering Glurblub after he makes a vine wall attack. But I obviously didn't draw him right away. So
yeah, so both other champions first. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The Spew Mutant gets 1 hit.
Yes. So and now the Warden to finish did not. So that was another bad turn from Joe there.
That did not go well for him.
Living Shield is down. Correct.
Yep. So it's not going to be easy to hurt Joe because he used subjugation, I believe, again, and got a bunch more prisoners.
Right.
So he's not in a bad position.
Right.
Or at least as bad as it looks. He is in a bad position. It's not that bad though.
So Living Shield prevents one of those attacks no matter what for a prisoner. So in this situation, I'm thinking I'd really like to deny that Savager and make it a vine wall with spore carriers, because I don't want to attack anything because the attack will be useless.
Yeah, and you could spore carriers the Savager and run in Mick and make him waste a prisoner.
Yeah.
And Mick's not going to die next turn. However, you might end up sacrificing Mick, in 2 turns, which you might not want. You kind of want to keep him around if you can. So
yeah, I my mentality with Living Shield out is to pretty much just hold off on a turn.
Yeah. Not
minimize the
waste any
damage
resources
to myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you rush in, you waste a bunch of your own resources on something that probably won't help you. So keeping the pressure up is not always necessary when they play Living Shield. Just wait a turn.
Yep.
So yeah, trying to decide exactly how to hang back while still doing a decent bit of damage.
Yeah.
The Spew Mutant out is a little bit concerning. The ability to do 3 damage in 1 hit is pretty scary. Don't want to position Glurblub badly or something.
Yep.
Because just a decent roll could do a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if Joe put the Legion Mutant in this deck or not, or took that out. That's always one of my favorite mutants.
Yeah.
I just in this situation wouldn't help. We need 4 magic, but Prison Pile looks nice.
Yeah, he's got a good prison pile because of the subjugations.
Right, that would be a scary one to contend with.
We decided on the spore carriers.
Yeah.
Boom.
So there's a vine wall. I do believe I have a lash as well, but again, that's either a wound or a prisoner, and that's my second lash. So I don't want to be as willy-nilly with that lash.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's probably a time later when Lash will hit more than just a living shielded Warden.
Yeah.
And
right.
And where it will hurt a couple things. It will actually do some damage to a couple units.
Right, because I have decent offensive vine wall placement here now too. So
Mick is pretty safe where he is because the summoning point is blocked off with the vine wall. He can still get hit from that other wall. Something could be summoned off of that, but it would mean almost certainly that it's being sacrificed. Like that Joe would lose it the following turn.
Yep.
So Matt's in okay position here. And Joe's struggling economically just with the magic. He's got plenty of prisoners, but he needs to turn some magic here pretty quickly, or he's going to be in some trouble.
Yep, I'm thinking about like enlist plays that could happen, and I don't want Glurblub to be wailed on for free, because Joe has no magic, so I don't have to worry about like too dangerous of a summon, but I could have like potentially a winged mutant fly in over me.
Bone mutant or something. I don't know what else is in his prison pile there, but
I see something with 3 attack in there.
Then 3 life.
Yeah.
So I'm not positive which one that is. I can't see it very well, but you don't want to risk that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because one bad turn where he gets 3 hits and then you miss it could put Glurblub in, likely death range or something.
I'm thinking that is the winged, just because I always remember being really worried about the winged in particular this game.
Yeah, and you can see the prison pile there a little bit, so that makes sense. Alright. Got a little hit on the wall. Nothing fancy. Keep it simple this turn and let Joe deal with the next move. Now, you got a living shield out of the way too. That's nice. Both of his subjugations are gone. That's good too.
Yep. I also have the mentality of if there's like a tough mutant that pops out, I could just use Swamp Dominion on that. I don't need to save it for the Warden. That would be ideal, but like getting a big mutant out of the way with just Glurblub.
It's true, and that makes another vine wall.
Yep.
And that puts Joe. The Warden is not scary by himself. If you get the Warden at the end of the game and he's the only thing you're fighting at the very end, that's not scary because he only has the 1 attack. So if you really do reduce him to no mutants, you're no longer in trouble.
Yep. So here's Joe trying to make a clinger play here.
And this is interesting because he's giving you the position to get another vine wall, which would be really nice, especially with Mick in that area. But it might draw you in to Glurblub getting a hit.
Yeah,
the next turn.
Because I think there is a winged there, so he could like get a bunch of die on Glurblub. Joe probably feels like he's losing at this point, so it's like a calculated risk.
Yeah,
he's taking.
He's setting a trap, and if Matt doesn't move in on it, then Joe's not in a horrible position. And if Matt does move in on it, and Joe lives through the turn, then he's all right. So it's not he has a chance to hurt Glurblub. So he does not kill the vine wall. He was definitely supposed to kill that vine wall with those 4 dice.
Right? He was thinking he would move there, kill the vine wall, and be in a decent position. But either way, once he moved there, I was extremely happy. I had anticipated the vine wall going down and was still content with this because there was something he wasn't really expecting here. He wasn't, and you'll see it. I'm really excited about this move. Also, the Warden. I don't know if he just didn't see that summon point to be able to attack the Warden. Yeah, so I have a boarboon. So it's going to have 3 attack this turn.
This is one of those moves where the boarboon's huge because 3 magic and it has 3 attack this turn.
Right, and the Vine Lash he definitely wasn't thinking about, which was big for me. So I also just did a wound to the Warden, so I did get an extra wound out of it. That's really all I gained from him not killing the Vine Wall was an extra wound. But.
Well, and if you didn't kill him this turn, if you don't kill him this turn, then he would struggle to move off it. He'd have he could have like a 50-50 chance to kill himself trying to get away.
Yeah.
It's a bummer certainly, but it's true that it's not it's not quite as terrible as Joe thought it was, because all it really matters is that it's an extra wound. Matt now has 3 with the boarboon, and he used Swamp Dominion there.
Right, so I have Swamp Dominion down, so I have 7 with Glurblub and 3 with the boarboon.
Yeah, and so to hit 5. Sorry, it took me way too long to say that.
Yeah, it's 5. 10 to hit 5 is what it is.
Yeah, would have been 10 to hit 6 with the lash hadn't worked.
Yeah, so I was just taking a little time to debate where to put Glurblub. I'm just thinking about adjacent means if for some reason I miss, he can't enlist that spot.
Yep.
And if he enlists behind him, it's really only useful if it was the winged because the vine wall is still alive.
Yep. So just, there's at this point it's unlikely Joe will be able to kill him in one turn. So it's he hits 2 with the boarboon. That's good. That's what he needs. And now
I have 7 to hit 3.
Yeah.
So
good odds. This is what you want with Glurblub. Matt gets excited. He stands up.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So, yep, that was Glurblub versus the Warden.
You've seen
excited.
A good Glurblub win. It's sad that Joe didn't really get his deck to flow the way he wanted, but it was really nice offensive Glurblub play. A lot of vine walls on the other side. It's just what you want to see out of that deck.
Right.
So.
Yep. So I was happy. I pretty much showed every aspect of the deck other than grubs, so I was happy with that.
Which is probably that next card right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah. You had almost made it through your deck. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen all of Joe's mutations.
Yep. And the Legion. I just love seeing the Legion mutant. I don't know if he was in that deck or not.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody. It's always a pleasure. We'll see you next time.
SummoNerds out.